Good morning. It is, my truck is dirty as fudge. It is, a nice warm morning here in, Ohio. I'm, just outside of Columbus. I think it's what, 22 degrees? 22 degrees with a high of 33 today. Anyway, had someone ask me, how I was doing, how things were going, if I was still at Colonial. In the last video where I kind of did an update, I was like, yeah, I'm still leased with Colonial, just living, up here in Ohio now. And, anyway, they were asking, if I was still making money and, as far as like how things were going, being leased on still. And so I figured I'd make a short video real quick, do kind of an update. Not really an update, but just kind of throw some numbers out there. So I was looking in QuickBooks at my first year. I did, essentially I started last May of last year of 2021. And I looked at from May 2021 to May 2022, I was right at $200,000 as far as what I got paid, like, to my bank account. I was right at $200,000, and then I had $100,000 of expenses. So in that 12 month period, basically had a $100,000 net. Now if I look at this year so far, I'm looking at I looked last night, I think it was at $242,000. If I do year to date, January 1st of 2022 to now, today is November 19th, I'm at 240 something thousand as far as what I've been paid to my bank account. And but after all the stuff I bought, like my nice rims and all my stacks, a lot of other expenses that I've been paying for, plus fuel and anyway, everything that I've paid for so far, I'm at like 240,000 or so that I've been paid, and then I'm at just over 200,000 for expenses. But so a lot of people would look at that and say, okay, well 40K, I make more than that as a company driver. I'm like, okay, well that's cool, but I also switched my business over to an S Corp, and so I had been paying myself, to where I'm paying myself payroll, to where part of my expenses is my payroll. Trying to save, money on taxes, stuff like that. So that's one reason you can't really go off of like looking at someone's numbers of how much did they make and how much did they keep and everything like that, because everyone's situation is different. Everyone's tax situation is different. Depending on what state you're in, everything like that. Like now that I'm in Ohio, I have state income tax and things like that I've been paying. It's just, anyway, there's so much that goes into it. A lot of people just get lost on the numbers. They want to throw their gross number out there and be like, oh yeah, I made, like if they're in a lease contract, they want to throw out what they made at 100%. Even, they don't count what the company took and stuff like that. I throw out my numbers of what I got paid, because honestly, I don't care what the company got paid. What did I get paid? I'm on a 68% contract. I get 68%, company gets 32. And I still got paid $240,000. So anyway, I just figured I'd throw that out there. That is a mix of, I was mostly working in Jacksonville, because a lot of that depends on the market that you're in. This is being leased on the Colonial. I was working out of Jacksonville, Florida, and then I have worked up in Georgia, South Carolina, and now I'm in Ohio. So it's a mix of working in those four markets is where I made that money. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. Plus, like, we get paid extra for working on the weekends. Like today's Saturday, I'm running 3 loads, so I get $300 extra on top of whatever I make off the loads. there's a lot of accessory pay that goes into that money that I've made. It's not just off of loads. And but yeah, I figured I'd throw out a video, you know, just kind of showing some numbers. It's, you know, don't go and like come here and lease on and be like, okay, well, he made 240K or whatever. Like he made how much ever, so I expect to make that much. Like, you can if you're willing to put in the work, because a lot of that was also working 6 days a week. There were some weeks I was working 7 days a week during hours of service exemptions and stuff like that. So you can put the work in, but you know, your mileage may vary. I mean, there's some guys that are grossing 10K a week, as far as like what they're getting paid to their bank account. I mean, there's other guys that are barely breaking $3,000 because they're in a whatever market, but they don't want to run. They want to run 3 or 4 days a week. So, I mean, a lot of what you will make depends on you. And of course, this is all specific to hauling fuel, you know, running tankers. So you have to account for, you know, having hazmat and everything, all the other expenses that go into all this. But anyway, I do want to talk to our like driver, manager, supervisor, the owner, operator, supervisor, and kind of talk to her about whether or not I would, because I thought about making a video going over my contract, and I am in a lease purchase. This truck is a lease purchase. My lease purchase contract is literally 4 pages long. It's not very much. Like, it's very simple. They're not like trying to screw drivers over like a lot of these big companies do, like that are over the road. But anyway, I've thought about making some videos going a little bit deeper into that. So we'll see. But anyway, figured I'd make a video real quick, just kind of showing or just telling. I'm not really showing, but just looking at QuickBooks and telling you kind of what I've made so far this year. And that's pretty much it. I'll catch y'all later.